Good evening. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television live here with tonight's news bulletin. But first, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq receives cables of condolences and sympathy on the victims of the tropical cyclone Shaheen from a number of country leaders, crown princes and senior officials of brotherly and friendly countries. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Fatih bin Fahar Al Saeed receives the chairman of the board of directors of the Irada Association for Talented People with Disabilities in Saudi Arabia. And most of the main services affected by tropical Shaheen cyclone condition, the governorate of North Al Batina, are restored. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received cables of condolences and sympathy on the victims of the tropical cyclone Shaheen from a number of country leaders, crown princes and senior officials of brotherly and friendly countries, in which they expressed their sincere condolences and sympathy to His Majesty the Sultan and the Omani people, praying to the Almighty Allah to bless them with His mercy, inspire their families' patience and solace, and protect the Sultanate and its people from all harm, as they expressed through their cables their solidarity and support for the Sultanate in its efforts to contain the effects of the tropical condition. His Majesty received cables of condolences from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty Mohammed VI, King of the Kingdom of Morocco, His Excellency Dr. Bashar al-Assad, President of the Syrian Arab Republic, His Majesty Philippe VI, King of the Kingdom of Spain, His Majesty King Philippe of the Kingdom of Belgium, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Highness Sheikh Mish'al Al Ahmed Al Jaber Sabah, Deputy Emir and Crown Prince of the State of Kuwait, and His Highness Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah, Prime Minister of the State of Kuwait. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cable of condolences to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Highness Prince Abdullah bin Mohammed bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Highness Sayyid Fatih bin Fahar Al Saeed received in his office Dr. Ammar Buqays, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Irada Association for Talented People with Disabilities in the Sisterly Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. During the meeting, His Highness conveyed His Majesty the Sultan's thanks and appreciation to the guest for his good efforts in serving people with disabilities, as well as reviewing areas of cooperation and ways to enhance them between the concerned authorities in the Sultanate and the Irada Association for Talented People with Disabilities. The meeting was attended by Her Excellency Layla bint Ahmed bin Awad Al Najjar, Minister of Social Development, and His Excellency Abdullah bin Saud Al Anizi, Saudi Ambassador to the Sultanate, and the guest accompanied delegation. Within the framework of the Sultanate's attention on current issues on the regional and international arenas, His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, received in his office this morning His Excellency James Cleverly, the British Minister of State for the Middle East and North Africa in the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and his accompanying delegation. At the beginning of the meeting, the Minister of the Royal Office welcomed the guest, who expressed his thanks and appreciation to the the Sultanate for enhancing means of cooperation to achieve common interests between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom. The meeting reviewed the march of historical relations that joined the two friendly countries, exchanged cordial talks and discussed matters of common concern. Most of the basic services affected by the tropical system in North Al-Batina Governorate are back. Now electricity power is back by 90%, while asphalted roads are back 89%. Field work teams at the Ministry of Social Development, with the support from the Sultan Armed Forces, started their work to assess damages at houses, while shelter and relief sectors continues to manage donated items rendered by various government, civil and private sector establishments along with citizens. The sector is exerting tireless efforts at the shelter places in the Wilaya of Al-Khabura, Suwaiq and Saham to sort up and arrange foodstuff, electronic equipment and other household items and render them to the affected families. Shelter and relief sectors appointed 2 centers to receive donated items and give them to the affected people in North Al-Batina Governorate. The centers are in the wilayas of Al-Khabura and Suwaiq, and there is full coordination between these centers in receiving and providing donated items. The main military committee for emergency cases management at Sultan's Armed Forces held its meeting at Muaskar al-Murtafa'a. The committee followed up its efforts through the 2 subcommittees in the Governorate of South and North Al-Batina and aspects of support that Sultan's Armed Forces and other departments in the Ministry of Defense continue to implement. The committee also reviewed the process of work groups operations spread in the Governorate of North Al-Batina, concerted efforts, governmental and societal integration for achieving national goals to overcome effects of the tropical condition. The Royal Army of Oman and the engineering services in the Ministry of Defense reopened a number of main and services roads in the affected areas by the tropical cyclone Shaheen in the Governorate of North Al-Batina. The ministry is exerting great efforts to return the traffic movement to normal in cooperation with other bodies concerned. The sub-military committee's units for emergency management continue their plans to deal with the impacts of tropical cyclone Shaheen in the Governorate of North Al-Batina. The units distributed main supplies and consumer products for those eligible that were affected by the cyclone. In continuation of the works of the state's main sectors tasked with assessment of the damages left by the tropical cyclone Shaheen in some wilayas of the Governorate of North Al-Batina, some members of the subcommittee of the emergency management paid a field visit today to the mountainous villages in Wadi Bani Umar in the wilaya of Saham, headed by Major General Abdullah bin Ali Al-Harthi, Deputy Chairman of the National Emergency Management Committee. It got acquainted with the main services in those areas, including roads, electricity and communications, in addition to the some affected houses of the citizens. Meanwhile, the military and civil efforts to bring back electricity and fix roads also continue in the Governorate. His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Hamir al-Malik al-Shehi, Governor of North Al-Batina, stated that the aim of this visit is to assess damages on the mountainous villages, affirming that the damages will be repaired soon. He added that asphalted roads affected by the cyclone will be restored sooner. He as well added that orders were given to float tenders to asphalt damages roads and repair damages in these villages, including electricity power. The Royal Oman Police continues its efforts to deal with the impacts of the tropical cyclone Shaheen in the Governorate of North and South Al-Batina. The Royal Oman Police supported the relief sector by providing national cadres from special police task forces in the Sultanate. Their tasks include cleaning the houses and residential areas from mud and debris and to support the citizens in these difficult times. On the other hand, the police efforts also continue in terms of organizing the traffic movement and other security aspects, in addition to supplying foodstuff and other important items in the affected governorates. You are with the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin. The Sultanate's pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai witnessed huge turnout of visitors over the last 9 days. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The meeting of the Board of Directors of University of Technology and Applied Science has discussed a number of topics. It approved the organizational structure of the university as well as specialization related to administrative divisions. The meeting also focused on the visual identity of the university and directed to complete the procedures in this regard. The meeting was headed by His Excellency Dr. Mohad bin Saeed Ba'awain, Minister of Labour. A workshop on enhancing and developing the industrial sector in the Sultanate concluded this afternoon. More details coming up in this particular report. With the aim of attracting capital investments in order to provide job opportunities, enhance local industrial sector, as well as facilitate the business environment, industrialist businessmen and businesswomen gathered at a workshop under the title Enhancing and Developing the Industrial Sector.
We have addressed some of the issues like the tailored incentive schemes that need to be actually developed based on the sector itself, not and the type of the investment. So that is very good one. Another one is the clustered or the focused cluster industry that we need to establish here with a very special scheme as well. Another subject matter they discuss it is the facilitation of the fund.
Well, I can see the outcome for today's workshop is really very encouraging. The policymakers here at different levels are available just to ensure that the government is supporting the outcomes of this workshop. And the people have really are very optimistic that the outcomes will find its way in implementation very soon. There is a task force being established to look after the implementation, and we are looking forward really to see that whatever been agreed today and discussed in detail to find its way in implementation shortly.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion is keen on the necessity of enabling the industrial sector to play its role in economic development, which is in line with the Oman 2040 vision and the Industrial Strategy 2040. The workshop reviewed the reality of the industrial sector in the Sultanate and the challenges it faces from the analysis of the industrial strategy and the COVID-19 pandemic.
This workshop specifically to support the industrial sectors. In this workshop, we identify all the challenges that facing the improvement of industrial sector. According to the Vision 2040 and the industrial strategy, which is indicates what's the current challenges facing the industrial sector.
The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion is working continuously to assist industrial establishments by looking at the challenges that may lead to a negative impact on the production, administrative or financial operations. These challenges will be analyzed and proposed solutions that can contribute to solving them as required. In order to keep up with Oman Vision 2040 and to implement fourth industrial revolution technologies, Sohar Port has launched 5G network and artificial intelligence. More details coming up in this report.
To achieve high-efficiency telecommunication services in its operations, Port Sohar launched 5G and artificial intelligence technologies in cooperation with Omantel and Huawei.
5G technologies is one of the leading fourth industrial revolution technologies. I'm very happy to see 5G use cases in the Sultanate to be one of the first 5G use cases in ports. This is a fantastic achievement. 5G provides high speed, low latency, high capacity, and there are so many use cases that can benefit 5G technology, and this will definitely increase efficiency, productivity, and reduce latency. And this will obviously benefit the entire economy.
The artificial intelligence technology provides advanced features in the automated follow-up of operations. This technology will enable the port to manage its operations and follow up all shipment cargoes remotely.
At the beginning of the year, March specifically, we've signed an MOU with Port Sohar to explore some of the technologies relating to 5G. As we have seen in this event, the pre-commercial launch of these POCs, that the Port of Sohar has been able to improve the efficiency of its operation. There is no doubt that the use of technology, specifically 5G, is a major enabler for the so-called 4IR, and this is one of the alignments that we are taking place between Omantel and other international partners to aid execute the implementation of the Vision 2040 and improve the competitiveness of the Sultanate in various economic sectors.
Based on three parties' joint efforts, we already achieved the phase one expected targets. Smart campus and smart gates, including 6 applications already were tested and pre-commercial launched. In the near future, after the full automation integration, I do believe that it can support to improve the efficiency, reduce the cost, and provide more suitable jobs for Omani. And also, this 5G pilot projects will open the doors for other industries to introduce 5G technology to reshape the industry and support digital transformation.
Sohar Port aims, through utilizing this technology, to provide a safe and innovative work environment to enhance its global competitiveness. Adopting the latest smart technologies, particularly 5G and artificial intelligence, will revolutionize the efficiency of the port's logistical operations. Saleh Bakhalfan Al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Thank you, Saleh. There, indeed, we are on the way for a speedy flow of operations through 5G and AI technologies. The Ministry of Health reports 15 new cases of coronavirus COVID-19 that were registered in the Sultanate during the past 3 days, in addition to one COVID-19 related death. This brings the total number of positive COVID-19 cases to 303,965 in the Sultanate. The ministry said that the total number of COVID-19 related death cases reached 4,102. The ministry also added that 97 new cases have recovered, bringing the total number to 209 199,278 recoveries. It also pointed out that 3 cases were hospitalized over the past 24 hours. Is the total number of currently hospitalized COVID-19 infected patients stands at 23 of them. 8 are in intensive care units. As many as 111,706 people from different countries of the world visited the Sultanate Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai over a period of 9 days. The pavilion showcased and narrated Oman's past, present and future via visual display that contributed to bring the social, economic and various life aspects in the Sultanate. Beside viewing the investments opportunities available in the Sultanate, the visitors were treated to a marvelous visual display of modern technologies and sound management. The number of visitors to the Omani Pavilion may go up next month upon the improvement of the climate. Now, price hikes of many goods in Turkey, especially that of food, have increased the living cost for most Turks, with many having to tighten their purse strings.
Price hikes of many goods in Turkey, especially that of foods, have increased the living costs for most Turks, with many having to tighten their purse strings. Data released by the Country Statistics Bureau last week showed that consumer prices in Turkey rose nearly 20% in September year-on-year, to reach a new high in the recent 2.5 years. Food prices rose nearly 30% year-on-year. Many Turks are feeling the sting of soaring prices. Many others have chosen to lower their living standards in a bid to pull through the difficult time caused by inflation.
Because of Turkish economy is very highly dependent on import goods, as the foreign exchange rate increased, the import inputs, raw materials, especially the energy inputs, are getting high and high, and this cause push in cost.
Turkey's economy was already vulnerable last year with the coronavirus outbreak. To rein in food prices, the Turkish government is waging a war against speculation and has launched an investigation into the country's 5 biggest supermarket chains after they were blamed for the soaring prices.
That was Suzanne Al-Suleimani. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq receives cables of condolences and sympathy on the victims of the tropical cyclone Shaheen from a number of country leaders, crown princes and senior officials of brotherly and friendly countries. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Fatih bin Fahar Al Saeed receives the chairman of the Board of Directors for the Irada Association for Talented People with Disabilities in Saudi Arabia. And most of the main services affected by the tropical condition in the Governorate of North Al-Batina are restored. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. We are all happy that most of the services affected by Cyclone Shaheen have been restored. We wish them all the best, and we are with them all the time. Good night.